I exist. Hello internet, Jojo here. I hate Kuma. I think he's a horrible dad, he's a horrible person, and he should suffer for it. So, yeah, Kuma kinda sucks. Let's just get this over with. He is touted by the entire fanbase of One Piece as the best father. He's the best ever. He's not. He's really not. I think that the worst thing about him is that he is stupid. Let's start with a very basic overview. Kuma is a deadbeat dad who gave his daughter to the world government to do God knows what on. Like, that is literally the point. The point was to experiment on Bonnie to cure her. That is the point. But I mean, he had no reason to distrust the world government, did he? It's not like they previously enslaved him. We're well known for wiping out populations of entire nations out of a fun game. Oh wait, that's all true. But there's more. They also raped his wife and turned Kuma himself into their personal killing machine. Oh, and he thought it was a good idea to leave his daughter with them. Yeah, definitely she's gonna be safe there, right? Oh, absolutely safe. They're not doing any experiments on her whatsoever. Why do they do that? They keep their word when they feel like it. I mean, honestly, the first place I would look for a cure for Bonnie's disease, Revolutionary Army. I mean, what is his best friend's name? Ivankov. What is Ivankov very well known for? Miracles. That's what Bon Clay called Ivankov when they first met in Impel Down. The miracle worker. Could Ivankov have cured Bonnie? Probably. I mean, look at this stuff they can do. Ivankov can turn a male to a female in like 5 seconds. Okay? That was not possible for Bonnie, right? Couldn't even try. Didn't even try. Let's take another one. Law. Remember, this is only 2 years ago. Law is a prominent surgeon and pirate. Of course, while Law wasn't as famous back then as he is now, everyone pretty much knew about him. The Revolutionary Army probably knew about him because it was a 5 billion berry devil fruit that went missing, and I imagine somewhere down the line they figured it out. So I mean, people definitely knew about Law and his ability. Now, while pirates aren't always known for being honorable, Law, I mean, I would trust Law, or as a pirate, you'd think Kuma would have trusted Law over the world government. And what is the one thing Law can do? The impossible. Law cured his own incurable disease. And we know Law could have cured her. He cured addiction from children. He can switch people's souls around. He could have cured her. Didn't even try. And also, Kuma himself might have been able to cure her. Oh, but how, you're wondering? Push it out. He can push light, air, pain, potentially souls, and he couldn't cure a little disease? He couldn't push disease out of her? Did he try? Of course, you might be saying, but it just revert back to her. Okay, then put it to an animal. Give the disease to an animal and let the animal die. It's just an animal, daughter. Animal, daughter. Not a choice. Especially, it's especially much of a better alternative than going to the world government, who is evil. Like, their secret organization is known as CP. That doesn't spell good guy to me.
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment.
Not to mention that Vega Punk found a way to keep one of the bubbles stationary. So could just push it out and give it to Vega Punk. Or give it to Saturn. Give it to someone else, someone who deserved it. Like Saturn. I honestly don't know other Gorse's names. Any of the Celestial Dragons, a member of CP0, member of CP9. He instead decided to sacrifice his life, his control, his daughter, his reputation, and his devil fruit, and pretty much everything else to the world government because he didn't think of any of these other options. He's an idiot.
Whenever I'm about to do something, I think, would an idiot do that? And if they would, I'd do that thing.
But that's just one issue I have with this. Now let's talk about Kuma himself becoming a robot. So, The entire premise of this idea that Kuma would lose his mind, he would be erased, is that it's unreversible. It's not. We know this. Vega Punk himself has uploaded his entire consciousness to the cloud and to other robots. Why couldn't he transfer Kuma's brain to the cloud or to another robot? That way, at the very least, Kuma would be able to spend time with his daughter while his body, dead anyway, goes off and kills stuff. He can alert the revolutionaries of the problem, or Vegapunk Vegapunk could have done it. Vegapunk could have told the revolutionaries about Kuma, but we know they didn't because Ivankov was surprised when they went to Marineford. This will solve every possible issue. Just make another body for Kuma and upload his mind to that. Vegapunk did it. Also, Bonnie could have cured herself with her powers. She could have just kept that part of herself young. Or she could have just stayed as a child, because if she managed to stay as a child, that would affect the disease as well. Disease would not grow if it is stuck in time. Also, her turning into an old lady should have killed her. Right? I mean, the whole thing was, if she ages, she dies. That was the whole concept. But that's just another option. Bonnie's fruit is weird in general, but you get the picture. She can turn old, should have killed her, stay young, stay alive. But no, she decided to not do that.
Now, as long as you're just hanging there, pay attention. The only rules that really matter are these. What a man can do, and what a man can't do.
But one of my biggest problems is when Kuma met or saw Bonnie 2 years later in Sabaody. Bonnie was free. Kuma had not yet been turned into a robot. He saw her free. He saw her with his friends there and went away. He left. He abandoned her to become a pirate. She became a pirate because he wasn't there. Because he chose to abandon her. For what? To keep his word? He's a pirate. She was cured. He was free. Maybe you're saying, if he didn't go back, she'd have to run their entire lives. They'd have to run. They'd have to be on the run because the government would be after them. As opposed to what? Bonnie is on the run. She's a pirate. In those 2 years, they could have sent... Actually, why didn't the world government use Kuma for anything in those 2 years? You see him by the boat for 2 years and they didn't use him for anything? The warlord, they just let him sit at a boat? That's a different scenario entirely. They could have ordered Kuma to hunt Bonnie and he would have killed her. I fully believe that. Would have killed her. Also, his fruit is the one fruit in all of One Piece that is best for running away. And that's what it does. It moves things at insanely fast speeds. Give me a headache. He could have run with her across the world. They could have lived together, father-daughter. But he chose to abandon her. And maybe he didn't want to run. Kuma could have taken Bonnie, his daughter, who he abandoned, to the revolutionaries. And they're being hunted anyway, and they've been fine. Imagine the power of the revolutionary army with Bonnie and Kuma still in their minds. Right now, Kuma's out of his. They'd be so much stronger. I doubt Blackbeard and his crew would have been able to defeat them on Baldigo. But he didn't. He chose to leave her to a life of piracy and possibly an early death. How many people do you think Kuma killed for the war government? Just as a whole? How many people do you think the pacifistas killed? How much of an issue are the pacifistas going to be for the revolutionary army? He did that. Kuma did that. Because he didn't take her and run. And certainly not all of the people that he killed were pirates. I mean, you saw how casual he was about killing civilians on a thriller bark. He blew up the entire island not everyone there was a pirate. Certainly not a dangerous pirate. How many people do you think he killed? Hundreds? Thousands? Tens of thousands? Well, I mean, with attacks like that, probably tens of thousands. Also, he killed a lot of people in his early life too, but that's not the point.
Watching you make decisions is rather like watching a Tarask mating ritual. One simply assumes villages will be destroyed in the process.
But another thing that bothers me is it's just another incurable disease story. We've had many of those in One Piece. Gold Roger, Z, Law, I have a list, and Whitebeard as well. So let's do 5 incurable disease stories. Why do we have so many of these? I mean, really? Come on, Oda, you should be a better author than this. Have this 5 same plot lines in a story 1,000 chapters long. This is almost as bad as him doing a countdown for every single story arc. Why do we have the same story? Is that all you know how to draw? I'm talking to you, Oda. I'm very frustrated at this. You are such a good author who's done such great things in the past. Why are you stuck on incurable diseases? And how many are there? So I ask you, what is the point of Kuma? What benefit has he actually done? We all know he's going to get better, right? Oda doesn't kill characters off. We'll talk about Vega Punk in a different video. Unless finally he decided to kill someone, but even then, any emotion at this point will ring hollow for me. I don't care about Kuma. I'd rather him stay dead. But an old brain-dead man and a child managed to land the first hits on the biggest antagonist we've seen so far. Yeah, that makes sense. Shouldn't have happened. Not one Straw Hats, some child and a brain-dead cyborg who should be under the control of the person he stabbed. He didn't stab her. Bonnie stabbed him. He punched him. Also, why was there no control in that? Like, why didn't the Gorosei say, yeah, make sure he can't attack us as like a default? The Gorosei are pretty stupid anyway. They managed to get tricked by Vegapunk 10 times. There's the whole situation with not actually programming Kuma to be self-destructed when the self-destruct button was pressed. The whole thing about programming the pacifistas to obey Bonnie when she commanded. The whole situation about not delivering the Kaido's devil fruit that Vegapunk made to them, which I would assume would have been a pretty high priority considering. There's the whole situation about selling weapons to pirates. See the cannon that ate a dog devil fruit from Alabasta. And I do say selling, because Vegapunk does seem to prefer money to human life.
So what inspired you to torture some children, make some clones, and torture some more children?
Hello, I like money.
There's a whole situation with not destroying the robot from 200 years ago that no one checked up on, though I can't credit that all to Vegapunk. Kuma's story removed any agency from Bonnie. Now, she's no longer anything special. She's another damsel in distress. She was so much more 2 years ago? 3 years ago? Oh man, when did Stampede come out? It's a long time ago. Oh man, I'm so old. But she fought Douglas Bullet. She took hits. She was a fighter. She was strong, powerful. She fought Blackbeard. She fought and lost, but she fought Blackbeard. And now, she painted 2 bugs. She is on the same level as Perona, the pretty princess. That's why I don't like Kuma. And we can talk about Odin too, but that's in a different video. Thanks for watching, guys. Till next time, remember to stay spectacular. Jojo, out. Bye-bye.